earned the right to call themselves Trifarian.
My god, the dedication though. I haven't pulled out my dog tag. I've been dressing a lot like an edgy Noxian, but let's be honest, if I was really Noxus, I would have probably looked like this. She might be the Trifarian assessor, but I was an actual weapon instructor. Riot hasn't posted any new videos, we're back to covering old videos that you guys asked me to watch, react to, and analyze. Like I've said before, I've already watched the old cinematics, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to fangirl, simp, or educate you any less. This time we're covering one of the most popular cinematics of 2019, Awaken. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're starting at the theater. You can see a bunch of dead people in the background, bombs, Jhin's bombs. You can also notice the red flare in their bodies, which is a wound that usually happens from Jhin's magic infused bullets. What the bullets do is basically rearrange things. At least that's how he describes it. So we have a trap, we have dead people with rearranged wounds, and probably a lot more macabre things that we don't really see at the moment. But yeah. Jhin is walking on the stage, which is incredible. I love it. I love how 𝗬𝗪𝙧 is just so freaking mesmerizing. I don't think Jhin gets enough hype as a character, and I'm here to change that today. Because boy, oh boy, this is one of the most complex and genius characters in the League of Legends universe. I mean, this is the man who turned Kusho's hair from red to white and gave both Shen and Zed severe PTSD. And although he changed Kusho's, Zed's, and Shen's life forever, Kusho decided not to kill him, but to lock him in instead. The knowledge that Jhin is an actual human being would have undermined their entire harmony and trust in the culture of Ionia. This psycho has been killing people in Shanqian all the way through Chun, which is where the Tula prison is, and all the way down to the Galarian island. Nobody in Ionia knew what Jhin really was. They all thought he was some sort of demon. Now, if you actually read Jin's stories, you would have learned a lot about who he is as a person, not only as a persona. Because not only that he's an absolute psychopath who enjoys art, but we also learn about one of his kinks. He knew he shouldn't, but he unpacked the black eel-skin bodysuit. He drew the fingertips of his left hand across the slick surface of the clothes. The feel of the skin's oily surface quickened his breath. He picked up the tight leather mask, then, unable to help himself, slid it over his face. It covered his eye and mouth. It constricted his breathing and removed his depth perception. Delightful. So Jhin is like this weird mix of like Guy Fawkes, the Phantom of the Opera, and kind of like the Rubberman from American Horror Story.
You pack that thing in your luggage?
It hurts so good.
Yeah. So we're in a fighting pit. Draven is not amused. I love everything about this scene, starting off of him looking extremely fucking handsome. Like, oh my god, the cheekbones and the jawline, boy. And on top of that, those incredible tattoos, the 2004 studded leather gloves, and his fabulous tiara. Like, if his hair was any longer, or if it was an actual mullet, he would have been a perfect candidate for literally any glam rock band. I mean, look at that jawline. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'll stop. Okay. Irelia! Oh my god, the pores on her face. What's your skin routine, girl? Also, thank you for severing Swain's arm. Now he's got a demon. Boom! Oh yes, Queen, you stride that ass. Oh my god, she's so fucking incredible. Oh, Oh my god. Sounds of war. Awaken, awaken. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, he's intrigued. Yes, queen. Slay. Boom. Oh my god. Now here's the thing that I would like to point out. There's no reason for Sion to be there. Like Sion is not supposed to be in Ionia. Like, the thing is that a lot of people thought that this was the Noxian-Ionian War, but this is not the Noxian-Ionian War because Sion was awoken by 𝗬𝗏 after 𝗬𝗏 became the Grand General Ruler of Noxus. Sion was part of Noxus ever since its founding and was actually one of the many soldiers who fought the war at 𝗬𝗪𝙧𝙧 against King Draven I. He also was the one to actually kill him. Alone and pierced by dozens of swords, he finally reached Draven I. The fight was brutal, but Sion dropped his axe and with his final burst of strength, tore the king's crown from his head with one hand, clamping the other around his throat. Draven's guards stabbed Sion again and again, but his grip did not loosen. Only when the enemy king was slain did Sion allow death to claim him. Many years later, 𝗵𝘠𝘂𝗪 was willing to pay almost any price to restore Noxus its glory. So he spoke to the Black Rose to try and resurrect Sion. The problem was that Sion was uncontrollable. So 𝗬𝘀𝘂𝗪 ordered Sion to be locked up in the Immortal Bastion. After sitting there for many years, 𝗬𝘀𝘂𝗪 was already gone and overthrown by none other than Jericho 𝗬𝗏. 𝗬𝗏 knew exactly how to control Sion. Very quickly, all the regions that managed to separate themselves from the Noxian rule bent the knee. So technically, this entire scene is not really canon. Also, the fact that Irelia doesn't really look like she's 14. She doesn't look like a teenager. She looks like a fully fledged lady. Like, she looks like she's 19, early 20s. But in the actual lore, Irelia was fucking 14 when she led the resistance against Noxus. Also, if Sion is here, where is 𝗬𝗏? Why is Draven in Noxus? And why is Riven in the fighting pits? Even though Riven pledged herself and her strength to Noxus, after the Noxian-Ionian War, she exiled herself to wander around Ionia. There's a super long story about Riven and Ionia and how she ended up staying there and being there and everything that she had to go through. But long story short, Ionia forgave her. So there's absolutely no reason for Riven to be in the fighting pits in Noxus. She literally has nothing to do with Noxus right now, and she would have never went back there because she knows that she would have been actually locked up. And this entire scene can't be in the future because if Sion is here fighting in Ionia, obviously Darius and 𝗬𝗏 would have been with Sion here at the front lines fighting against Ionia. So this entire fight is not canon, and neither is the fighting pits. But this scene, this specific scene of Camille going after Jhin, this is actually canon, because this entire scenario is hinted in the 𝗪 comic. When Jhin escapes the Tula prison, he's actually going to Piltover. Shen, 𝗪, and 𝗂𝗪 are on their way to try and catch him. The Mist Floor is where Jhin goes to after he escapes from the Tula prison and starting shit in Ionia. 𝗂𝗪 is the first one to get there, and when she gets there, she's told that a week ago, some weirdo had some sort of showdown with the Pharaoh's clan, and that they were pulling bodies out for days. The Pharaoh's clan is Camille's family. Camille is the high-end chimeric principal intelligencer of the clan, and is the one who runs the family's public affairs as well as its more shady operations. Camille is not the police. That's what you have 𝗑𝗫 and Kate for. She operates completely on her own and with her own people. Why? Because she has the money. The family's wealth came from creating synthetic hex crystals after harvesting actual real hex crystals. The synthetic crystal manufacturing has long been rumored to heavily contribute to 𝗤𝗏. Furthermore, it was only through espionage, intimidation, and murder the clan Ferris held its monopoly on the priceless commodity. So Camille can technically waltz in anywhere with her hex-augmented black ops and do whatever the fuck she wants. Because she's rich and terrifying. Ooh! Oh boy. Ah, the change in the eyes. Oh my god, I love it so much. Draven is coming in hot. Oh my god. Ah, it's such a glorious moment. Oh my god. Oh wow. Ooh! Dara coming in with a shield! Now, a lot of you are like, why the fuck is Karma fighting with Irelia? Because, like, Karma's supposed to be, like, the ruler of Ionia and, like, not get into, like, physical fighting against other people because it's against the rules of magic in Ionia. Karma is not an actual person. It's an entity that was reincarnated in Dara, her host. But unlike the other hosts, Dara knows how to think for herself and doesn't really care much about tradition when people are dying. So I honestly wonder what the people of Ionia thought when that happened, because everybody hated on Irelia for like taking matters to her own 14-year-old hands. But Dara, as kind of like the leader of Ionia, went down there as well because she was also against the idea of like not doing anything. Ooh, the slide! So people say that they see Darius, like the one who's raising his arm right here, supposed to be Darius, and the one who's next to him supposed to be Swain. The thing is that they didn't really notice that this dude right here is literally leaning over. Swain would have never leaned over a balcony like an excited soccer fan. That's just not how he is. This white thing that they thought is supposed to be like Swain's white hair is literally the exact same helmet that this guy wears here, this guy wears here, this dude wears here, and everybody here in this left crowd and right crowd and in the big crowd, like they all literally look the same. The crowd goes there to watch Draven fight. The 𝗨𝙧𝙬𝙀 doesn't give a fuck what Draven does in his playground. Oh! Oh my god. Oh. Speeding Yasuo up. No, here, that's also another, like, not canon thing. Like, Yasuo is not supposed to be in this war because at that point, nobody really trusted Yasuo yet because everybody thought that Yasuo killed his master, but then they all blamed Riven for doing that, but then we all found out that Riven didn't actually kill the master, but the master kind of just died. So, he's not supposed to be fighting with the Ionians. Because, like, he doesn't trust others to trust him. Even though it was already proven that he was not in the wrong. Oh, wow. Cannon! Oh! Riven gave him a nosebleed. Like, he is very happy that he was just hit because, like, actually, like, someone managed to actually hit him. And she's like that smirk, and she's happy that she actually got to hit him again. The thing is, you know, I mentioned that before, but at the end of the day, like Darius and Draven and Riven, they were all orphans. So they all kind of grew up together, especially considering the fact that they were all part of the Noxian army. So like they all technically know each other. So like having Riven here fighting against Draven is maybe like kind of like reminds them of the good old days, you know? So it's a really cute detail. Like I would like to imagine that and like think that that's exactly what's happening here. But it also might not be true. Oh, now this scene also, you can see a similar scene in the Zed comic. Exactly the same thing. He did that before, and I'm pretty sure that this is exactly what he plans every single time he decides to make a performance out of his mass killings. Oh. Wow. Woo! Oh, I love it so much. It's so good. This is actually the first time that I did such a long video. It took me so long to edit this and like film this and like going through it over and over again just to make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. And on top of that, like trying to incorporate all the questions that you guys have and everything that you pointed out on my previous streams. So I hope I answered all of your questions in this incorporated video. If you have any other questions regarding this, you can always ask me in the comment section below, and or come to one of my streams and ask me on there instead. Also, let me know in the comments below what is the next cinematic that you guys want me to cover, and I'll make sure to make a review of that as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.